I'm Kelly Pollard, the Business and Industry Coordinator here at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. As part of our mission here in our Economic Development Division is to alert employers and industry partners to the many tax benefits available when hiring. This can include hiring veterans, ex-felons, and SSI participants through great programs like Employ Georgia, the Federal Bonding Program, and the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Our goal is to have employers expand their recruitment network of potential candidates and potentially take advantage of all the financial benefits once they hire. We're excited to partner with the Georgia Department of Labor to bring this wonderful information to you today. Please welcome Mr. Shannon Jackson, Senior Employee and Training Consultant for the Georgia Department of Labor. Shannon, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Pollard. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Shannon Jackson, and I'm a Senior Employment and Training Consultant with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. I'd like to share some information with you today about Employ Georgia, which is the official labor exchange system for the Georgia Department of Labor. If you're a business owner or an HR representative or an authorized recruiter for a business in Georgia, Employ Georgia, or EG for short, might be a tool you can add to your toolbox that'll help you find well-qualified candidates to fill critical job openings. Let me tell you a little bit about how it works. First of all, what is Employ Georgia, and specifically the module for business-focused talent? It is an application that allows employers to manage their openings and track applicants to include the ability to self-browse job seeker resumes. Employ Georgia also provides you with tools to easily build competitive job announcements. There is an automated job matching system which will rank candidates by likelihood of success, which hopefully will save you some time and effort. And it also supports customized recruitment. Some of the many benefits to businesses of Employ Georgia: employers are able to create job advertisements or job postings, as we like to call them, with suggested wording based on job types or searches of similar ads. It also allows you, the employer, to search thousands of resumes by different criteria such as salary ranges, keywords, credentials, and past employers. And it also allows you to send automated invitations to job seekers based on established minimum criteria that you've included on your job posting. Some more benefits. It will help you save time by receiving automated job matches. The artificial intelligence in Employ Georgia will suggest matches for you ranked by their likelihood of success. There is a star matching system that Employ Georgia uses, and that's based on a comparison of resume skills, qualifications, and work experience. It will also allow you to search for additional resumes similar to ones that you've already received. For example, if you receive a resume of a candidate that looks especially well qualified, you can ask Employ Georgia to recommend more candidates who have resumes very similar to that one. And another nice feature, it also allows you to add customized knockout questions so you can better screen candidate. This is an especially good feature for smaller businesses and emerging employers who maybe don't have their own human resources department. Maybe you don't have someone with a master's degree in HR. Employ Georgia can be used sort of as your virtual HR expert, especially in terms of recruitment. Now, how do you get started as an employer in Employ Georgia? The first thing you'll want to go to is the Employ Georgia landing page at employgeorgia.com, and you see a screenshot of the landing page there. Now, this is where updated information will be posted, for example, as our terms and conditions for use change, as we update helpful information or information that will help you learn more about how to use Employ Georgia. You'll find those updates on this landing page. We've got a very recent update that I think you'll find especially useful. There are now tutorials on our landing page for employers so you can learn how to make Employ Georgia work better for you. Now, how does an employer get started? You have two options. If you already have an Employ Georgia account and you want to post a job order or a job posting, you'll simply sign in with the username and the password that you created when you registered. Now, a couple of things to remember. Your username will always be the full email address that you actually use to create your account. That will never change unless you go in and change it yourself. So keep that in mind. The username is not case sensitive. And of course, the password will be whatever password you created when you initially registered for the account. This is also important to remember. Your password is case sensitive. Okay. If you haven't already created an account, you'll simply select the register button and move to the next step from there. One thing to remember about Employ Georgia. Every individual hiring manager in your organization, in other words, anyone who has the responsibility for posting your jobs and recruiting, they will need their own individual Employ Georgia hiring manager account. So, for example, if you have 3 different people in your organization that post jobs and recruit, each of those individuals will need to register for their own Employ Georgia accounts. They will be linked together by the fact that they share the same FEIN, and they will be able to share information with one another. Now, to register for an account, there are a number of things you need to know to make the process go smoothly. Employers must complete all sections of the account creation. That includes account setup, information about your business, hiring contact information, and terms of use. In the account setup section, employers must enter an email address, create a password, enter their FEIN, enter the CAPTCHA information. That's the section where they will ask you to type in the words that you see or select all the pictures that have stop signs just to make sure that you're not a bot. And you will create 3 security questions with answers. And please keep in mind, those answers will be case sensitive. Next, you'll move to the business information section. You should provide the legal name of your business or your company, the name in which you normally operate under, or the name that the public generally knows you by, what's on your sign, I like to say sometimes, and make sure you include the address, zip code, city, state, country, phone number, whether you're a private business or a government agency, and your industry classification. You can also provide a description of your business. For example, you can tell job seekers a little bit about who you are, your history, your products, and your services. And that description will be stored in your account so you can pull it automatically over into all of your job postings. After completing that business information section, you will need to complete the hiring contact section. Now, this is important. You must include a first name, a last name, a job title, address, zip code, city, state, county, country, and phone number for the hiring manager. One very important note here, we cannot approve an account request if the hiring manager's name is listed as human resources. Every single account must actually include the name first and last of the individual who is creating the account and who will be managing the account. Next, you have to agree to the terms and conditions. We do strongly encourage you to read them. We know it's pretty customary for folks to just check the box and say that I read them without doing so, but it's very important here. You want to understand what your rights as an Employ Georgia user are and also what your responsibilities are, what's okay to put in our system, and what's not okay. So just please make sure that you read those terms and conditions to make sure that you complete the registration process. One thing I would like to point out here that you'll see in those terms and conditions when it comes to job postings, the Georgia Department of Labor is not able to accept job postings where the worker you're looking to hire is being classified as self-employed, a 1099 worker, a freelance worker, or an independent contractor. Now, once you've acknowledged the terms and conditions, you're all good to go. Now, in this particular screenshot, this is what your account looks like prior to approval. Once you submitted a request, it goes to a queue. Georgia Department of Labor staff will review that request and in most cases approve it. If there are some issues, it might be denied, and you'll be given an opportunity to address and correct those issues. You will also be able to go ahead and draft job postings at this point. Just be aware that those job postings won't actually become active until your account has been approved. After the account is approved, you now have a talent pool tab where you can search for applicants, and you'll see it on the screenshot here. One very important thing to remember, however, is you won't be able to contact applicants unless you actually have an active job posting. So make sure before you start reviewing candidates, make sure you at least have one active job posting associated with your account. If you want to create a job posting, whether this is part of the account creation process, or if you want to wait until after you've received notification that your account has been approved, just simply log into your Employ Georgia account and select the option that says Post a New Job. This is going to take you to the Create a New Job to Post page, and you'll need to complete all of these sections that you see displayed here on this page. The title and employer section, description, requirements, details, salary and benefits, and recruitment information. Let's walk through those really quickly. In the title and employer section, you must enter a job title and select the Find button. This will open a section below the title for you to select the best fit title. And this is based on ONET categories, which you're probably familiar with. This is very important, and it's critical to ensuring that the system recommends good matches for you because it bases its matches on the ONET category that you select. If the suggested bet fit titles are not appropriate, then there's a drop down after that where you can actually manually select a category. Now, your employer information appears on the right side. If there's more than one employer with the same FEIN, the other employers will appear in the drop down and the appropriate one should be selected. This is common when perhaps the organization for which you work has more than one business unit, and you may be responsible for recruiting for all of those business units. You may have to select the specific benefit or select the specific business unit for which you're posting this job. Keep in mind too, if you don't want the public to know the name of your business on the job posting, you can select the confidential option. And you can also add, again, the business description, and you can also add your company's logo if you'd like. In the description section, the first thing you really need to remember, it is absolutely critical in every single case that you actually provide a detailed job description. We find that your matches are only going to be as good as your job title and your job description. Now, if you already have your own description, you can copy and paste it here. But if you don't, we have a job posting wizard that you can use to help you create a job description. In the requirements sections, the only required field on this page is degree level or education level, if you will. However, we would strongly encourage you to provide as much information here about the minimum qualifications as you possibly can, because that will help generate knockout questions that will ensure that you are attracting better qualified candidates. On the details section, you must select the actual job location. It is absolutely critical that you ensure that you indicate the correct job location here. And that's where the individual will actually be sitting, so to speak, where they will be working. Now, if you have jobs that are 100% remote or are a hybrid of come to an office, work remotely, there are options available for you to indicate that as well. Also, if you're going to have the same job at multiple business units or multiple locations, you are given the option here to indicate that. Say, for example, you have 10 locations and you are looking for managers for all 10 locations. You can enter those 10 locations one time, and when you submit this posting, it will actually break out into 10 separate job postings. On the salary and benefits section, you are only required to confirm that your posting meets state minimum wage requirements. You do not have to include salary information if you do not want to. We always appreciate, and we know job seekers appreciate, salary information or at least salary ranges, but that is completely up to you. In the recruitment information section, you will enter a closing date for your job posting. It can be any date you like, as long as it's at least one day from the date that you actually post your job. The maximum is 180 days. You'll also indicate how many openings you have, your interview contact preferences, and your screening preferences. You will also have the option, if you so choose, to extend the length of time that your job posting is only available to qualified veterans candidates. All job postings are suppressed for the first 24 hours to allow Employ Georgia to notify qualified veteran candidates first. But you can extend that for 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, or even for the entire life of the posting. One note here: if you are going to ask candidates to apply online, please make sure you test the application URL first to make sure that it is actually working and the job is still available online. When Save and Post pops up, it'll give you a chance to review your information, and then you'll select the option that says Post Job. Once Post Job is selected, you'll receive a confirmation screen. In some cases, the message will say your posting is active, and in other cases, it'll indicate that your posting has gone to our queue for review and approval. Both conditions are perfectly normal. A small percentage of your requests don't require staff review, and they'll go straight into our active system. Most of them do require that we at least give them a quick review. We try to review and approve, or in some cases deny, every single posting within 2 business days. It should be very, very rare that it takes any longer than that. Now, once the job is active, you can start to view matches to your job posting. When you select View Job, you'll see a button that says View Matches from the database. After you select View Matches, you're taken to the Talent Pool tab. Now, your matches will be sorted by a star match system. This is comparing your job posting to the job seeker's resume. And a 5-star match is the highest match possible. Now, initially, you won't be able to view the individual's name or contact information. However, you will be able to send them an invitation to apply for your job, or you can send multiple invitations at the same time. You also have the ability to expand your search options by using the search options panel. This allows you to search by very specific criteria that you've set. I very strongly recommend that you use this search option as much as you can. I definitely like the keyword option best. You also have the ability to save searches and ask Employ Georgia to notify you when new matches are found. It's very easy to set those notifications up in the system, and you can tell Employ Georgia, notify me daily, notify me weekly, whatever your preference is. Now, this is important. These saved searches will continue to send you notifications of new candidates, even if you don't have an active job posting. So, if you take a posting down and you don't wish to continue to get notifications about that particular job, you will want to go into Employ Georgia and turn those alerts off. But if you need some help with that, don't hesitate to contact us, and I'm going to give you that contact information at the end of our presentation. Just a few things to know about account details. You are able to maintain and update your account to include your login information, contact info, your company name, descriptions, logos. You can edit save searches. You have the ability to do that all on your own. And you are also able to update your account details by such as your username or your password by selecting the account settings at the top of the page. So, if you have any questions about using Employ Georgia, you have two options. You can call Employ Georgia support. They're generally available Monday through Friday from about 8 a.m. until 4 or 4:30 p.m. And that phone number is 1-844-283-0997. Or this may even be faster. You can email them at support@employgeorgia.com. Again, I'm Shannon Jackson with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Hi, this is Shannon Jackson, Senior Employment and Training Consultant with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. I'd like to share some information with you today about the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or WOTC. WOTC is a terrific hiring incentive for employers who are willing to hire workers from specific target groups. Hiring employees from these target groups can result in significant tax savings for your organization. Let's take a look at some of the details. So, question number one, what is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit? The Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or WOTC, provides tax incentives to businesses who hire and retain new employees who are members of qualified groups. The requirements for this program are set by the Internal Revenue Service and the United States Department of Labor Employment and Training Administration. So, which job candidates actually qualify for WOTC? Now, keep in mind that even for these candidates, certain conditions must be met to qualify for the tax credit. First of all, veterans qualify for WOTC. People who are receiving SSI. Job seekers who are referred by vocational rehabilitation. Ex-felons. Food stamp, or as we call it, SNAP recipients. TANF recipients, which of course is temporary assistance to needy families, designated community residents, and summer youth living in empowerment zones. And lastly, long-term recipients of unemployment benefits. It's also important to understand with WOTC who does not qualify. Relatives and dependents of the employer will not qualify for WOTC. Former employees, regardless of how long it's been since they worked for you, except for summer youth, will not qualify. Majority owners of the business are not eligible for the WOTC tax break. So let's talk for just a moment about how WOTC actually works. The tax credit employers can claim depends upon the target group of the individual hired, and we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. The wages paid to that individual in the first year of employment, the number of hours that individual worked, and there is also a maximum tax credit that can be earned. And again, we're going to touch on that in just a few minutes. Let's take a look, first of all, at those maximum tax credits. This credit is based on qualified wages paid to the employee for the first year of employment and the number of hours worked. The credit is 25% of qualified first year wages for those employed at least 120 hours, but fewer than 400 hours, and 40% for those employed 400 hours or more. There is a cap on the credit for each target group. So what's the breakdown of tax credits by target groups? Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this to you in detail. I'll certainly let you take a look at the second and third columns at your leisure, but I just want to break down for you the non-veteran WOTC target groups first. We are looking at short-term TANF recipients. Those are obviously job seekers who have received TANF benefits for a relatively short period of time. Again, we are looking at SNAP or food stamp recipients. We're also looking at designated community residents, vocational rehabilitation referrals, ex-felons, SSI recipients, and the long-term unemployed. I will tell you, if you quickly browse the criteria for those who worked anywhere from 120 to 400 hours and those that worked at least 400 hours, the highest possible savings for non-veteran target groups can go as high as $9,000. That is a significant tax savings for a lot of employers that employers in Georgia are not taking full advantage of. A couple of other non-veteran groups, long-term TANF recipients, and again, summer youth. Let's look at the specific veteran target groups. Again, they receive food stamp or SNAP benefits. They've been unemployed for at least 4 weeks. They've been unemployed at least 6 months. Also, disabled veterans hired after 1 year of leaving service, and disabled veterans unemployed at least 6 months. Now, again, at your leisure, take a look at these specific criteria in columns 2 and 3 for workers that worked between 120 and 400 hours, and also those who have worked over 400 hours. You'll find that the maximum possible tax savings here is up to $9,600. Again, that's a tremendous savings for most employers that many employers in Georgia are not taking advantage of. It's a missed opportunity. Here's some data for you. Recently, Georgia businesses earned tax credits for over 90,000 workers. That was a total tax savings of $242 million. That's staggering. But this is probably even more staggering. Employers have missed many millions more in tax credits just for workers that have registered with the Georgia Department of Labor for work. That doesn't even consider job seekers out there who have not registered with the Georgia Department of Labor. So please make sure you don't miss this tax credit. So why use WOTC? Well, besides the obvious, any size business can benefit. You can be a very small business with perhaps 2, 3, 5 employees, a medium-sized business with perhaps 25 to 100, or you can be a huge business with over 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 employees. Now, believe it or not, the application process is actually pretty easy. I know easy in government, you don't usually hear those two words in the same sentence, but it truly is pretty easy to apply for these tax credits. Obviously, it reduces your tax liability and enables you to hire qualified individuals. Quite often, this allows you a chance to type into or tap into target groups that perhaps you haven't looked at as closely as other target groups. This program incentivizes you giving those particular target groups a second look. So there's 3 simple steps to apply. Complete IRS Form 8850, which is the pre-screening notice and certification request. Make sure you do that by the date of the job offer. That's extremely important. Complete the USDOL Form ETA 9061, the individual characteristics form, and make sure you submit the signed and dated IRS and USDOL forms no later than the 28th calendar day after the new employee starts work. Now, you can go online to our website at wotc.gdol.ga.gov to submit your applications electronically. You can also send any supporting documentation to wotcdocuments@gdol.ga.gov. Now, if you submit your applications via mail, send the most recent versions of the IRS Form 8850 and the ETA 9061 and any supporting documentation to WOTC Unit, Georgia Department of Labor, and we're at 148 Andrew Young International Boulevard Northeast. That's Suite 450, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303-1751. An important note here, both online and by mail, the 8850 and the 9061 must be submitted no later than the 28th calendar day after the new employee starts work. Supporting documentation, however, can be sent later. If you want to get more information about this program, please visit our website, dol.georgia.gov/learn about Georgia EWOTC. You may also contact your local Georgia Department of Labor Career Center, or I would recommend perhaps contacting the WOTC unit directly at 404-232-3699. Again, I'm Shannon Jackson with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. Thank you so much for your time and attention today.
Great.
Hi, this is Shannon Jackson, Senior Employment and Training Consultant with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. I'd like to share some information with you today about the Federal Bonding Program, or FBP for short. FBP is another terrific hiring incentive for employers who are willing to take a chance, so to speak, on hiring workers who can't be commercially bonded. Using the federal bonding program actually removes the chance from the equation for employers. Let's have a quick look at how it works. I think you'll find it's incredibly easy. So I always think of the federal bonding program as a win-win solution. How can an employer hire skilled workers without risks and help skilled workers land a job in spite of their background? Well, the solution oftentimes can be the federal bonding program. The federal bonding program is truly making history. This program has been sponsored by the United States Department of Labor dating all the way back to 1966. And there really is no other equivalent for this program anywhere. And this piece of data, I think, is especially important. Since 1966, there's only been a 2% default rate on all federal bonds issued. In other words, employers have only had to make claims 2% of the time. That's an incredibly strong rate. So you can see how it removes the chance when you decide to give someone from a specific target group, someone who can't be commercially bonded, an opportunity to go to work. Now, what is the federal bonding program? Even more specifically, it's an employer incentive program to hire people with at-risk, hard to place, or questionable backgrounds. It's a fidelity bond, basically. It's a business insurance policy that protects you, the employer, against loss of money or property due to dishonesty on the part of an employee that you've hired. Now, this is another thing that really should jump out at you. There is absolutely zero cost to you as a Georgia employer to participate in the federal bonding program. In addition, there is no cost to the job seeker either. Again, let me repeat that. There is absolutely no cost of you to take advantage of the federal bonding program, nor is there a cost to the person that you're hiring. So as you can see, this is a win-win opportunity for employers to hire and retain skilled employees without incurring any significant financial risk, because it ensures the honesty of hires who might be perceived by you or other people as being high risk for a variety of different reasons. So what does the federal bonding program actually cover? It insures you, the employer, against stealing, forgery, larceny, or embezzlement. It covers workers who earn wages with federal taxes automatically withheld. It can cover both new employees, people that you're bringing on board for the first time. It can also cover current employees who you would like to promote, for example, but perhaps you cannot commercially bond because of something in their background. The federal bonding program can help the employee and you with that issue. It covers full-time workers, part-time workers, temporary workers, basically anyone who's trying to get a job. And it's effective for 6 months. Now let's take a look real briefly at who it actually covers. It will cover any person whose background usually leads employers to question their honesty and deny them a job. In other words, it could be anyone needing a job. Here are the eligible groups. It does cover ex-offenders. We sometimes refer to ex-offenders as returning citizens. It would also cover persons who have been dishonorably discharged from the military. But it also covers persons with poor credit, people who are recovering substance abusers, TANF recipients. It covers youth and adults who are economically disadvantaged or have a lack of work history. And this applies to anyone of legal working age. And one more thing, and I know again, this is probably really hard to fathom since we're talking about a federal government program, but there is no paperwork for the job seeker to complete. And as the employer, there is no paperwork for you to complete. There's a little paperwork that we do on the Georgia Department of Labor side, and that's it. It's literally that simple. Let's talk for just a moment about what it does not cover, or specifically who it does not cover. It does not cover self-employed persons because federal taxes are not automatically withheld from their wages. You do have to be registered with the Georgia Department of Labor, or if you happen to be viewing this from another state, the person does have to be registered with your state's employment security agency or Georgia Department of Labor. But that is a very quick, easy, and simple process. They can do it remotely from the comfort of their own home, or they can work with a local career center to ensure that they're registered. If the person has defaulted on a previous bond, we cannot cover them. And we can't just, in a blanket way, cover an entire workforce. This coverage applies to individuals one at a time. Now, the bond is issued and becomes effective on the worker's start date, and it's good for 6 months. So the day they start work, they are covered. You, the employer, will receive a bonding confirmation letter notifying you that the bond has been issued. And then after the person has started work, you'll actually receive a federal bonding kit addressing the benefits of bonding and the claims filing procedures. That will actually come directly from the insurer. Okay, but we can literally get someone bonded the day before you need them to start work. Sometimes we can just literally do it in an hour or two. It is that quick. Sometimes it's just a simple phone call or a simple visit, and we can take care of that for you. Now, if the worker demonstrates job honesty during the 6 months of coverage, and if you remember from our earlier slide, there's only a default rate of 2%, so it's very likely they will demonstrate honesty. That person can become bondable for life under commercial bonding. This is an example of the federal bonding fact sheet that's available on our website. If you'd like to take a closer look, you can visit our website at dol.georgia.gov. Again, that's DOL, like Department of Labor, .georgia, spelled out, .gov, and just use the search feature for federal bonding, and you'll find this informational flyer there. Now, if you have additional questions, Wayne Mack is our foremost expert on all things federal bonding. Feel free to contact Wayne. You can reach him via email at wayne.mack@gdol.ga.gov, or you can give him a call at 404-232-3543. Again, I'm Shannon Jackson with the Georgia Department of Labor's Business Services Division. Thank you so much for your time and attention today.